This is the Barbados Today morning news for Tuesday, September 5th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Former Prime Minister Owen Arthur has hit back at Prime Minister Freundel Stuart, who has branded him as a traitor to his working class roots. Addressing the opening gala of the ruling Democratic Labour Party last Friday night, Stuart suggested that Arthur had betrayed his roots when he handed the reins of the Barbados Labour Party to Mia Mottley. But Arthur dismissed the Prime Minister's statements as unprovoked nonsense by a man who is distracted by the overwhelming nature of the problems he is faced with.
Freundel Stuart, he too probably have heard that I had died and that I'm in no position to defend myself. and therefore, rather than focus on the very serious and imposing and massive issues facing the country, including a collapsing economy, including crime and violence stalking the land on a scale that we've never seen before, including shootings in quiet and strange places, including in his neighborhood, rather than deal with the very dangerous drift in the affairs of the country.
Prime Minister Stuart also said he raised the matter with Arthur in a private conversation, but the St. Peter MP says he does not remember such a discussion taking place.
That if somebody has in a conversation one-on-one or otherwise had referred to me as a traitor to my class, I would have spoken to him in such harsh and muscular terms that he would have fled from the scene, whether he was a Prime Minister or not. And I can only tell you that I did the greatest offense that if Freundel Stuart and what he has come to amount to can speak about me as being a traitor to my class and make people feel that he could have told me that to my face without my dealing with him in the manner in which he ought to have been dealt with if he had told me that.
Meanwhile, political scientist and pollster Peter Wickham has dismissed as desperation Stuart's attempt to include classism into this election campaign. He added that the statement reflects a political reality in which these issues are emotive. In other news this morning, International Business Minister Donville Inniss says he is prepared to shut down some financial services and international business companies to protect Barbados' reputation on the global market. His comments come in light of tax reforms from the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. The latest measure is a multilateral convention to prevent base erosion and profit shifting, a harmful tax practice. Inniss says it is important to maintain the island's good name as a preferred jurisdiction in which to do business.
We have to strengthen our regulatory regime. There can be no compromising on that, and the compliance folks in the room would always tell you that we can't leave any stone unturned when it comes to compliance issues, when it comes to doing the risk analysis and really to know your customer. We have done it reasonably well in recent times by having the corporate trust and service providers legislation that has now forced you as service providers to really up your game in terms of knowing your customer, record keeping and coordinating. And certainly from a regulatory perspective, our regulators have to be ahead of the curve at all points in time. One of the issues that we are deliberating within the ministry, which you are free to reflect on today, is the strengthening of the international business division in terms of regulatory matters.
Inniss was speaking at a recent seminar dubbed What Businesses Need to Know About Base Erosion and Profit Shifting and Double Taxation Treaties. A Barbadian family in New York is mourning the shooting death of one of their own over the weekend. David Doughton, who lived in the U.S. for almost 30 years, was shot and killed on Sunday night. The 49-year-old father of two is said to have deliberately avoided the Juve celebrations and decided to spend his Labor Day holiday quietly with family and friends. But he took a fatal bullet to the head at a gathering just blocks from the parade route. The New York Post said police are still searching for the shooter.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss O'Ya. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl, you know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados Today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the vendor for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shiny. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region, and we continue to track the progress of Hurricane Irma. The powerful storm is moving towards the west near 13 miles per hour, and it is expected to continue on this path today, followed by a turn towards the west-northwest later today. On the forecast track, the center of Irma will move near or over portions of the northern Leeward Islands tonight and early tomorrow. Several islands, including Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, Anguilla, and St. Kitts and Nevis, have been placed under a hurricane warning. In an address to the nation, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris appealed to the public to take all the necessary precautions ahead of the passage of the storm.
As Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for national security, I encourage all of our citizens and residents to do all in their power to minimize the impact of Hurricane Irma. At the individual, group, community, and national levels, steps must be taken to protect and preserve life, and in so doing help to expedite our recovery after the hurricane's passage. I further encourage all to act now. The National Disaster Mitigation Council has been advising citizens and residents and measures to ensure their safety, and I encourage all to heed these recommendations.
Further afield, leaders of Venezuela's opposition-led Congress have been meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron to press for humanitarian aid. This is the first leg of a European tour seeking support against President Nicolas Maduro. Maduro's government has been criticized by the United Nations, Washington, and other governments for failing to allow the entry of foreign aid to ease a severe economic crisis. The government in Caracas has been overriding the country's opposition-led Congress and jailing hundreds of its opponents. The opposition won control of Congress in 2015, but Maduro's loyalist Supreme Court has tossed out every major law it has passed as the country sinks deeper into a recession. And finally, survivors of Hurricane Harvey in Texas are beginning to return home to rebuild. They're making their way back as evacuation orders are being lifted gradually in the wake of rains and devastating floods. We get more in this Reuters report.
The long, difficult recovery process is starting in areas of Texas devastated by Hurricane Harvey. With the water slowly receding, evacuation orders have been lifted in some areas. Residents are returning to homes hollowed out by the floodwaters, but in many cases still standing. Authorities say some 190,000 homes were damaged and another 13,500 were destroyed by the storm. Residents of Crosby near the Arkema chemical plant have been allowed to return after authorities carried out a controlled burn at the plant that ignited during the flooding. The Army Corps of Engineers said it's beginning a gradual release from the Addicks and Barker reservoirs.
As water is drowned down the reservoirs, the Corps expect water levels in areas flooded upstream of the reservoirs to recede. Downstream homeowners will also see a very gradual reduction of water elevations.
It's been 10 days since the storm began dumping 50 inches of rain, killing around 50 people and causing up to $180 billion in damage. Congress returns from recess to consider a disaster relief package on Wednesday.
That's news this morning. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good morning.